Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. You look incredible.
Thank
By the way, this
you.
dress is amazing.
Thank you.
How do you begin to play a historical character?
Great question. With this one specifically, because there's so much information out there about her, I kind of cast the net really wide, try and read everything as much as possible, while also putting away the preconceived ideas that I had about her, because I think we all have very specific ones, mainly based around a quote that was misattributed to her. But it was a total kind of re-education, and then start to focus as well on the context around her. So the fact that she was 14 when she entered the French court, what Versailles was like at that time, what was the political landscape at the time, and try and fill in all of that. And I really love that research period where you're just left to your own devices. And then you start to chip away and narrow down on what is specific to this story and how she's useful, like what is her position on the chessboard of this film, and how is she a useful tool in telling this narrative about Joseph. So it's a kind of constant chipping away process.
Amazing. And was there like a famous fact that you found out about Marie Antoinette that you took away from this? Anything interesting?
Yeah, there was so many. I think the main thing that stuck with me though is the fact that she was, as I said, she was 14 when she entered the French court. And I think immediately, like, when we're all talking about her and critiquing her, we forget that we're talking about a child. And that doesn't necessarily, that doesn't forgive anything, but I think it gives us more insight. And it's so important, I think, when you're trying to understand anything, any person's behavior, to remember the context all around them, or research or gain insight into the context around them.
Absolutely. And how is it getting into this costuming? Because it looks incredible.
Intense. It was incredible. The scale, height, width, you have to relearn your spatial awareness. I was almost caught on fire several times.
Wow.
So you're trained very quickly. But it was such a great insight into the experience of the character, and every time I talk about it I realize how pertinent that was, because I immediately grow 2 feet and everything is restrained, and it was a wonderful kind of contradiction between that severe restraint with the corsetry, where it affects the way you breathe and can project your voice. So it was great insight into the perception of a woman at that time because of these physical restrictions, while the contrast of grand scale and look at me kind of optics, and her awareness of everyone's perception of her, and therefore being an author in it by deciding very specifically what to wear. So those costume fittings I looked forward to every time.
That's such an incredible answer. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I hope you enjoy your evening.
I can go on and on about
I'd love to stand here and talk about costumes and stuff. Obviously, history buff.
I know, I love it.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!